Hi, I'm CJ Elmberg at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. We appreciate you tuning in this morning. So we've got a brand new living quarters, a 4-horse with an Outlaw that we're going to walk you through. This has got a ton of extras and a ton of options on it, so bear with us, but we will try to cover everything on this trailer so you can see what you're looking at here. So this is a 2022 CImarron Norstar 4-horse living quarters with an Outlaw conversion. Before we start walking you through this, let's go ahead and take a look at the drawings on this trailer so we can show you kind of some different specs on this and how this trailer kind of lays out. So we're looking at a 38'3" on the floor. It's a 4-horse, has a full width rear tack on it. We're 7'10" tall, we're 8 foot wide. And then this is actually gonna have an 18-foot Outlaw conversion with the slide out on it. Again, we'll walk you through this trailer, try to show you anything and everything. It's got a lot of stuff, so we're gonna try not to miss anything, but sometimes we get a little excited showing you some stuff and we do miss something to show you. But we're gonna try to cover all the bases on this because this one's a very unique, very cool setup as far as this trailer is concerned. All right, let's kind of start up here at the front. One of the very first things is this coupler. So this is a coupler that is made by B&W. CImarron actually went to their factory to kind of look at some of their robotic welders and kind of look at some different things that they do. They got talking, they collaborated on a new actual coupler design for the goosenecks. This trailer, because of the time frame it takes to actually do a living quarters, when this trailer was built to now it's completed, we're going to show you another trailer as we kind of walk through this one on a new coupler size. Because look, if you're pulling with a hauler or a semi, something like that, one of the challenges has been, you know, having an additional hole drilled in here with this handle. So CImarron and B&W got together and made a lower profile. That's because we kept selling these bigger trailers to people with those haulers and those semis. And we want the trailer to run level. And that was one of the challenges, but there's a new design coming. So we're gonna show you that here as we kind of work through this on another trailer that's actually behind this one sitting here. Now underneath here, we've got dual jacks. And the reason why is because this trailer is so big and anything with the slide out, we go ahead and put dual jacks on it. So these are electric over hydraulic, so really, really responsive. It also has an override, so if we get in emergency situations, we can actually get it on or off the truck. But it really helps from the stability. Also, if you're not 100% square when you go to hook this up, they're on dual switches as well, so we can kind of walk this trailer onto a truck very easily. But we've got a box here. It's going to store 2 30-pound LP bottles. Directly above it is a battery box. It's going to house the 3 house batteries and then our air ride battery as well. This trailer is air ride equipped. So over here to the right is our actual compressor. So it's all self-contained, it's on board. It's very simple to use. You turn it on or off and put it in the raise or lower position. And when you go to store it or park the trailer, you turn it off, turn it to the lower, and it's got a drain valve here that we want to pull to get that air out of those lines, because air can create condensation, which can cause a line to freeze and crack, especially when we're dealing with these cold temperatures that we're looking at this morning. So again, very simple. We've actually done how-to videos on how to operate it, how to turn it off. So we have those available if you wanted to see those. Over to the left, there's our pump. So this trailer is also equipped with electric over hydraulic brakes. So that's going to store that fluid. And one of the last things that we wanted to do is do this enclosed front end. Just because it, I don't know, I think it really dresses these trailers up. It's also kind of nice because it protects everything behind here. Our spare tire, you know, yes, our propane bottles are in that tank, but our compressor's in here just to kind of protect it from any road blast or, you know, just cold temperatures, mag chloride, things like that that we deal with. And then because of that, we also put this light underneath here. It's a 16-inch awning light. Usually our cargo light on the back of the truck's blocked by the nose of the trailer, so we put this here. So you have some light if you're working in here. It also kind of shoots off of this enclosure and kind of brightens up the back of your truck while you are hooking and unhooking this setup here. Now because of that, you get a little bit longer nose. It's a 9-foot nose. CImarrons come standard with an 8.2, so longer than most competitors. But the reason why I really like the length of the CImarron nose is because if you are running a long box truck, you can actually work behind here with the tailgate down. You can still walk through there. It's not right up against that enclosure. One of the other things is you get the frameless windows that became standard on the 22 models. You can do the other style, the older style, but these are now standard moving forward on this one here and any of those that we look at down the line. Now I'm going to step back before we get in this living quarters. I want you to notice the extrusion. So we did the extrusion all the way to the nose on this trailer, and then we also did it on the LQ door just to kind of not break the trailer up as far as any lines go. And see that white sheeting? It's just a sleeker look. And I'll show you when we get back to the mangers as well that we did it on that aspect of the trailer as well. Now, this is an Outlaw conversion. So what's really cool is when you take a CImarron with an 8-year structure warranty and a 3-year hardware warranty, and then you include it with an actual Outlaw conversion with 3 years of warranty, which is fantastic, because even if an appliance has a 1-year manufacturer's warranty, if Outlaw puts it on this trailer, it's covered for 3 years. So this is the only trailer on the market that is covered 3 years nose to tail. And that covers those aspects, not just the craftsmanship. There are some conversion companies that'll just do a 3-year craftsmanship, but they won't do that on the appliances. So again, you're covered 3 years. They're also RVI certified. So you can take this to any private, public campgrounds, you know, maybe rodeo grounds, national parks. You're going to meet all the requirements to actually park there. And that RVI certification, they actually lobby on our behalf in order to take these trailers up and down the road, and also in the RV world. But Outlaw is the last standing RVI certified company out there on the market in the conversion company on the living quarters side of it. Now, we're going to step into this. This trailer, we've been working on this for quite some time. This was actually kind of inspired by, the Outlaw took us to a dealer meeting down in Texas at the Fort Worth area, and we went to the Drover. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that, but this was somewhat inspired by that. We really tried to incorporate some of the stuff they did there at the hotel into this living quarters, and we're really happy the way this turned out. So again, we're dealing with an 18-foot short wall with a slide out. A lot of stuff going on here, so let's take a look. We'll just kind of start over here at the slide first and foremost. So we did the U-shaped dinette. We really like these U-shaped dinettes. They've been really well received by everyone, just from the ability that you can get a few more people to sit in there. It still will break down like a bed as well. So if you're needing the dual sleeping areas, you can do that. But we tried to incorporate some of the cowhide into it on the valances, our pillows. We did a little different style on this back of this U-shape. We really liked the way that turned out, just a little different look. We did some paint on some of the cabinets as well. So in this main living quarters area in the bathroom, we did a gray paint, and I'll show you when we get up into the neck that we did a tan up there, just something a little bit different. But this guy here will break down, this table. It'll just go flat. So again, you've got an additional cushion in the closet back there, so we can turn that into a bed. And then across from it is going to be a sofa, jackknife style, so it'll fold down into a sofa, into a bed as well. So we have dual sleeping areas down here, and then we obviously have the nose area. Cabinetry above, the frosted glass. Again, there's your painted gray cabinets. A lot of storage throughout this. We did kind of some barn wood up on the actual ceiling itself, and we put some beams that ran across this trailer, something a little bit different that we kind of had to work through, but we really like the way that turned out as far as that's concerned. Over in the kitchen area, again, we really try to put emphasis on getting the kitchens away from the gooseneck drop wall. That's something that customer feedback has just really given us throughout the years. So what we have is we've got a 2-burner recessed cooktop. You actually have the tile that goes from the bottom up, and then we really try to get as big a sinks as we can. Again, customers tell us, you know, those little sinks, you know, they're really shallow, they're not very big. You know, you're really trying to get things to function correctly. But we also have a cover on it, so you have a little bit more countertop. Above it is going to be a convection oven. So you've got the ability to work that as more of an oven and a microwave, either way there. And then you've got the larger refrigerator freezer. And I'm going to show you, I'm just going to open up this pocket door here so you can kind of see what we did on the back side of that. We incorporated that barnwood on it. And then on the back side of it as well, we've got a mirror with that as well. I'm going to step out of the way and you can kind of work into the bathroom here. We've got the wood toilet seat with the puffed leather there. You've got some cabinets behind it for storage. Nice big bathroom vanity. We really tried to get you a lot of counter space, a lot of storage in the bathroom vanity. And then you're going to have a closet with dual clothes rods. That is a big closet. You can store a lot of clothes with you. You can actually kind of step in there and get what you need to and get out of there. And then you're going to have the radius shower with a skylight. So you have a little bit more headroom in there as well. And I'll just quickly show you on the back side of this what I was talking about. So again, you're going to have the mirror and then your barnwood down below as well on this one. As we come back in, you're going to notice up here at the front, we've got kind of our entertainment center. Really good location because of this U-shaped dinette, because of the sofa where it's located. You can really see that TV. This one is equipped with dish, so we can get you set up as far as that's concerned. Since it's an 18-footer, you're getting 2 ACs, ducted air, so you can really manipulate kind of where that air goes, but you get a more consistent kind of temperature control over the entire living quarters when you're dealing with that ducted air from that standpoint. And then, as you look up into the gooseneck, there's going to be some cabinets over to the left that are going to be painted tan. You're also going to have an additional TV up there. We're also equipping these trailers with Wi-Fi capable and smart TVs, so if you're wanting to stream, you can do that. And then at the front, what we tried to do is we tried to mimic a headboard that we saw at the actual drover itself with that puffed leather, and again, just a little bit different look. I think Outlaw did a really good job on, you know, just what we were looking at for some of the lights. These valances turned out really good with the nail heads, just giving us kind of the feel and the look that we really wanted to on this trailer. But again, we're really happy with the way this turned out. Outlaw is great to work with. It took us a while kind of going back and forth with supply issues that we've been dealing with. Everybody has to be flexible, so something was available when we ordered the trailer and then it would come non-available, so they would give us some options. But again, a really cool setup. These 18-footers, this is a great size and well equipped. You can travel with a lot of people, have a lot of room if you're just traveling by yourselves as well. Now, as far as again, we talked about the size of this, but the weight on this trailer, we have an official empty weight. It is 18,580. So, you know, that's empty without water, without hay, without 4 head of horses, without all your tack. So, you know, again, this is a great trailer for somebody pulling with maybe like a 450, 550. You get into the haulers or a semi type setup. You know, 1 ton can handle it probably when it's empty, but when you really load this trailer up, you know, it's going to be pretty heavy. So let's take a look at the outside here. You're going to have a electric awning as well, so a big, massive awning. We have an 18-foot short wall, so we have a 22-foot long wall. So that is a huge awning on the outside. It's also got the protected aluminum cover on it to protect from UV rays. Exterior speakers as well, exterior plug-in out here, so if you're wanting to entertain, you can. And then you've got a lot of courtesy lights based on the size of this. They went ahead and put 4 of them out here, so you have a lot of lights. There's also a light right there as you come out of the actual trailer itself, and then there's a strip of lights underneath the awning as well. Now we went ahead and did a lot more marker lights on this just based on the sheer size, and let's dress it up a little bit more as well. You're gonna have two 16-inch load lights as you kind of get back here to this horse area. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this load and the benefits and what we've seen in customer feedback when we get into the stall area. But we're looking at head side on this trailer. This is gonna be a reverse load is what we call it. But this is gonna be head side again. So this is where our horses' heads are gonna be. You see the big drop windows with jail bars. CImarron does a fantastic job. These are big, massive framed windows, welded hinges with grease zerks, so they're easier to maintain. I'll shut these up and then we'll open them back up for when we get to the stall area. But as you can see, we did the extrusion even on the mangers. So again, it doesn't break up with the white sheeting in those sections. We wanted it to just flow and look how it should if this thing was fully extruded all the way down even without the mangers. And CImarron nailed it. I mean, if you look at the lines and the way these extrusions are on the mangers, they match what's on the trailer. So they did a great job from that standpoint. A lot of storage with the mangers. You're gonna have 3 of the larger bays. And then as we get to the actual escape door, we did the manger on the escape door as well. So you'll have a smaller access door from the outside. But when we go to open it up, there's the manger on the door as well. We also include the fold-up steps on any of the doors, so your LQ door, even on this one here, because this trailer is 8 foot wide, you know, as you're stepping into them, you want the ability to make these steps nice and easy as we're getting in and out of them. So I'll open these back up. As you can see, really easy. Your jail bars, all you do is lift up, find that sweet spot where the opening is, and they'll fold down. You can order screens for these as well. Now, this is a triple axle air ride. So again, we've got that air ride for the horses, and believe me, it is a game changer. Your horses ride so much better on an air ride trailer. Dexter did some testing. Behind the wheel well of a trailer is the worst part of a ride. It's like sitting at the back of a school bus. You go over bumps, you go over railroad tracks when you're a kid. That was the fun place to ride because it would shoot you up in the air. But believe me, we don't want our horses doing that. So on this one here, we have majority of the horses riding on the axles themselves, but that testing showed that it took 52% of that road shock away. So imagine the jolt and just general shock that the joints are getting on our horses. So air ride makes a massive difference on the way it rides. The other thing too is if something happens to our compressor, an airline, or a bag, this trailer is going to sit down on rubber torsion axles with a shock kit. So you can get to where you need to and get something addressed. So the old air ride styles, you were stuck. You couldn't move that trailer. So this is a lot more bulletproof from that standpoint on just being able to get to where you need to and get it addressed. But these, believe me, once you pull an air ride trailer, you're not going to go back. That is the most common thing we hear from customers that buy an air ride trailer is they will say, I'll never own another trailer without it. We have electric over hydraulic disc brakes on this. These are 3 8K air ride axles, 18 ply Continental tires, the Alcoa bright wheels. The other thing we'll talk about when we get to the driver's side is we have an air dump on this, because that's one of the challenges is actually turning one of these triple axle trailers and just the sheer stress that we put on everything as far as that's concerned. We're going to tail off for a second. We're just going to walk over here to this Steerwalt model show cattle trailer. Again, the only reason why I want to do this is just to show you this low profile coupler that B&W designed with some help with us and CImarron. So as you can see, this is a lot lower profile handle, but we were able to get this lower hole as well. So we can get this coupler actually shoved up into the stem a little bit more. That way when we are running with a hauler or a semi, now we've got a coupler that we can adjust. And maybe you have a hauler, and maybe you've got a truck that you're going to pull something with, and you want to be able to move between the two of them. That way it's just one coupler and you can just adjust and go on the fly as far as that's concerned. Now let's look at the back of this, because on this one here we have the full width rear tack. We did a single door on this one. You can do double doors. It just kind of depends on the preference. And then just some different options as far as what you want to do in this back tack. On the door itself, you're going to have a 4-tier blanket pole rack on a gas shock, so it swings out, carpet behind it, brush tray for smaller miscellaneous items, and then again a step. Now, one thing we wanted to do is we wanted to put a vet box, is what we called it, on the back of this tack room. So what we have down low is CImarron built us some storage down below, some pull-out drawers. These are aluminum. We wanted kind of that vet box, kind of industrial feel to it, so they did that portion of it. And then up above, Outlaw finished it off with some wood, but then they went ahead and they put us a 12-volt refrigerator back here. So if you're needing to take any drugs, medicine, anything like that, you need to keep cool for the horses, you can actually keep that back here. You're gonna have to have 12-volt power, but this guy here will keep it cold as you're driving down the road and when you're parked, as long as you have 12-volt power. So now we can keep those items in this refrigerator rather than a refrigerator in there, and taking up some space as far as that's concerned. So that was our thought process behind that. We're happy with the way that turned out as well. Bridle hooks, 2 rows, carpet behind it. We really try to carpet all these back tack rooms just from the standpoint of, is tack or moving against this wall, not scuffing anything up. And then this flooring's a little bit different. This is something we've been incorporating. We actually started doing it on kind of that Steerwalt model that we showed you that coupler on their floors and on the gooseneck decks. But it's this gray rubber. It's got a really good grip to it, and it's a lot simpler to clean out. A different look. But again, we're starting to incorporate it on more of our horse trailers, and we really wanted to do it on this one as far as that's concerned, just giving it something a little bit different. Behind me is a massive gas tank for our onboard generator. We'll show you the fill on that. There's additional hooks behind a 4-tier swing out saddle rack on a gas shock as well. These are adjustable, so we can move these up and down. You can add more blanket poles if you want, whatever you want to as far as that's concerned. But this tack is nice and big and inviting, a lot of floor space if you want to throw some additional stuff in there. But again, really happy the way that turned out as far as that's concerned. Now, we also have a extended ladder there. That's the easy angle. Now, we actually have this trailer aired up right now, so it's actually up about 2.5 inches. But this is really easy to slide up and down, lock into place, so we don't have to climb straight up if it was a bolt-on ladder. Believe me, it makes a world of difference when we're actually going up and down. Now, as you can see over to the right, there is our onboard generator. That is a gas 7K Onan for a 7K generator. That thing's been running the whole time we've been doing this video. So those Onans are very quiet. You really don't hear them. Just a nice little hum back here. You really don't even notice it in the LQ itself. We also did a kind of a security gate that'll actually swing open as well, just so if you're up in that area, it's going to protect you a little bit more. That's great access into your actual hay pod itself. And then you've got a couple load lights at the back. Those you can actually kind of swivel a little bit, kind of point them exactly how you want them to get as much light coverage. And one thing we've been doing on a lot of trailers here lately and all these bigger trailers is a backup light. It's a real simple option that we like to add on, just from the standpoint of being able to see. I mean, again, we said we're a little over 38 foot on the floor. You know, our truck's a long ways away with its backup lights, and then the trailer, the front of the trailer is actually blocking majority of it. So that's a small upgrade we like doing on these bigger trailers, and we're doing a lot more inventory trailers like that as well. Here's our gas fill. for that generator, so you can fuel up your pickup, pull up to the pump, put gas in that. And then there's a look, we've got drop windows on tail side, so we can create a lot of airflow throughout this trailer with the drops on the head. And then we've got our access door with a side ramp going into this. Now again, you heard us use the term reverse load. So what it is a reverse load, because that's what we're used to normally seeing that load from actual passenger side. So our thought is, let's get the horse's head away from street side, let's get it to curbside, but also we like the fact that now the butt side of the horse is actually ahead of their actual physical head themselves. So when you get into these, and this is great customer feedback on customers that are pulling these trailers, if anything is going to typically abruptly happen, it's going to be you hitting the brakes very hard. So that means our force and everything's going forward. So if you have your horses standing here in a traditional load, now it's their head and shoulder that are going to be ahead of their butt, so they're usually going into the actual partition wall and dividers as far as that's concerned. Well, now we flip that, and most of these horses will actually sit underneath themselves. One gentleman runs his trailer that's set up like this with cameras, and he just says, you know, he tried it one day just kind of playing with the brakes a little bit, watching those horses, and they'll just sit and kind of gather themselves up, and then again it's their hip kind of taking that kind of abrupt kind of just that pressure and that abruptness of us actually hitting the brakes and them throwing forward. By doing that, they really feel like their horses ride a lot better and a lot fresher. I mean, we can combine it with air ride and then this type of a setup. And this has been a really cool and very well accepted setup as far as a different ride itself. Now, what we've done in here is on this first divider, it is a stud divider. Air flows on the head grills, and we extended this one all the way back. So if you needed additional storage, this is a great place. Everything's nice and self-contained as far as that's concerned. But as a stud divider, you've got that. Again, with the airflow dividers, it makes a big difference on just, again, how we control the temperature within these trailers. Now, you kind of notice that this had an integrated pod as we were walking around it. So when we have an integrated pod, we can't do roof vents. So we really need to put a lot more emphasis on drop windows, head and tail, airflow dividers, just keeping those horses as comfortable as possible. But every CImarron has an insulated roof on it. So it's the same roof that you get on most of them, but just with that integrated pod, we've got to go ahead and, you know, line the inside of this one, so we can't do those roof vents as far as that's concerned. 4 LED lights on this one with it being a 4-horse. Those are the big Opta brights. You'll notice that entrance right there has that head pad as well for the horses. But everything has a radius, everything is smooth, nothing protruding out, no 90-degree angles. You put your hands on the dividers, even the bars, they've got a radius to them as far as those airflows go. Padded dividers, very smooth operation. This is a aluminum cast piece that's powder coated. It's even got a radius on it. Heavy UHMW paddle plastic latch, so we don't have that metal to metal contact. But they've got big springs, so as you can see, I let this go and it's wanting to pull towards that side of the trailer. So again, as you're loading and unloading, it's just a lot safer for you and the horses. We're not having to hold the divider open. And then this back divider actually is a breakover. So we build this last stall a little bit wider, 48 inches, just to allow the horses to kind of make this turn, you know, big hips. This isn't a natural turn for them, especially coming off the trailer itself. But by having this breakover, you know, there's a big difference between where this would be if it was a solid divider, this space, versus that. They can actually step over with their shoulder and kind of make that turn a lot more accommodating as far as that's concerned as well. Because this one here is a side load, we like to do worm flooring on these, just from the standpoint of pulling mats. You have another angle you got to deal with, and nobody wants to wrestle mats, and this is a really nice trailer. Why not have worm flooring? It's permanent, it's unpenetrable, a lot easier to clean out, and then again, we're protecting that floor a little bit more as far as that's concerned. there's a good look at that integrated pod. It is just a sleek, clean look to the trailer itself. We're putting more and more of those in inventory. They're really well accepted. Customers really like them. So we do quite a bit of those now in today's world. You also have a drop window actually on this access door. So again, more airflow for the horses. The side ramp, we went ahead and did the extrusion on it. Again, CImarron did a great job on making it match our line of our other extrusion. And this is kind of like those backup lights. This is an amber turn signal. It's a really small feature, a really small add-on, but that works as a blinker and an indicator light, whether we're hitting our brakes. Again, big long trailer, people don't really pay attention. If their car is back here, they can't see our turn signals, but here they can, just to give them a little bit more indication of, hey, I'm trying to get over and turn. Now, we talked about the air dump a little bit. With this air ride system, this is something we do here at Transwest, is we've got the ability to go in and put an air dump just like you see on a lot of semis. And why that's important is, again, anytime you're dealing with a triple axle, what happens when you get into tight areas where you really need to turn these, puts a lot of stress. And again, our axles and tires try to fight each other. You'll notice the first axle and the back axle are always trying to go different directions, and it just puts so much more stress on the hubs, the axles, the sidewalls of the tires. But what we've done is we've gone in and we put an air dump on this. And the air dump's on the first axle. And the reason why we used to put them on the back axle, now we're actually testing them out on the first axle. And the reason why is because when we dump it on the first axle, we're gonna put a little bit more weight to the pickup, getting more weight off of these back two axles. It's not gonna physically pick this up off the ground, but it'll take that weight off of it to where this first wheel is just skating. And then it's gonna put that weight on these back two. So when we get into tight turns, we can actually turn it like a tandem, especially when you get into asphalt, real hot days from the standpoint of, you know, there's not a lot of grip. Those tires actually wanna dig in a little bit more into the asphalt, and it puts even more stress on them. But what we're doing is, again, we're shifting the weight towards the truck. We've got it to where we can turn them around, and I'll show you. You'll actually get one of these little fobs. So it's a little remote, and up here at the gooseneck, we have this indicator light. So when I get to a spot where I say, man, I need to turn this trailer around, you need to give it a few seconds so we can really transfer all that weight and make sure it's ready to go. But what you do is you hit the on button. There we go. This guy here, we're actually doing this to where it'll flash as well. We used to just do a solid light, but what we wanted is we wanted it to blink. So again, if you're in the driver's seat and this thing accidentally gets bumped, that thing's gonna flash and it's gonna catch your eye. But now we know that the air dump is on, and here in a second, the air compressor's kicking on right now, because it's compensating for the weight we just put to the back two bags with the leveling valves gotten off, so it'll kick on. But again, we have shifted the weight to the back two axles. That first axle will skate, and again, we can crank this thing around. And then when you're done with it and ready to go, kind of get straightened out or back into where you need to, again, you hit the off button, it'll turn our indicator light off. That compressor's kicks back on and actually puts the air back to all three axles as far as the bags are concerned. But again, this is something we do here at Transwest. It has been phenomenal, and we've gotten great feedback from customers. It's not as hard on the wheels itself. It's not as hard on those axles by doing this air dump. And again, that's something we can do here. We have done it on some tandem air rides. You gotta be real cautious. Anytime you're dealing with this, you need to be cautious and conscious of when it's on and off. Because if it's on and you're rolling down the road at 65, 70, 75 miles per hour, you know, you don't have that resistance on those actual axles and those tires. So if you really have to brake hard, especially with these electric over hydraulic brakes, how responsive they are, how strong they are, you'll flat spot a set of tires really easy. So this is really mainly just used for when you get in somewhere and you need to crank it around. That's always been the drawback on triple axles. They pull phenomenally well when you're on the interstate You can combine it with air ride, and this thing pulls like a dream, as big as this trailer is. But that's one of the downfalls, is when you're turning and backing into places, and this will really help with that. So I hope I didn't miss anything. Again, this is a extremely well-equipped trailer. Again, it's a 22 CImarron Norstar 4-horse living quarters, air ride suspension, integrated pod, full width rear tack, reverse load, 18-foot Outlaw. Again, an awesome trailer. Stock number is 5N211822. So we've got some other trailers like it on order as well. We've got some 3s, we've got some 4s, we've got some 5s. We can custom build you anything. We take trade-ins, whether you're downsizing, upsizing, anything you need there. Financing's available, and delivery is an option as well. We can look at actually getting this transported directly to your doorstep if you want. So give us a call. Anyone on our sales team can help you out. Our number is 303-684-3400. We appreciate you tuning in, and have a good day.